तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः.
Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridikam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatatam Bhuigrunanti Ye Bhuridajana. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and today we have to start the conversations of Saturday, March 7, 1885. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was in his room at Dakshineshwar, conversing happily with his devotees. Baburam, the younger Naren, Paltu, Haripada, Mohini Mohan, and others were present. One new name are we getting? Mohini Mohan? It is Master Mashay who wants to hide behind different names. We shall find out presently that it is same. It is Mohini Mohan. And others were present. A young Brahmin who had been staying with the master a few days was also there. His name is not mentioned. The Holy Mother, Sri Ramakrishna's wife, was living in the Navat, that music room. Occasionally, she would come to Sri Ramakrishna's room to attend to his needs. Mohini Mohan, he is mentioning this specially for some purpose. Mohini Mohan had brought his wife and Nabin's mother. I don't think there are two people. Mohini Mohan's wife is same as Nabin's mother. No, Navin Babu. Navin Babu Rama. Oh, Navin Babu. So, have we searched for some Navin Babu? Navin Babu. I thought it was Navin. I think one day I read something good. No, that was Navai Chaitanya. Okay. Now here two Navins are mentioned. Navin Niyogi. He was resident of Dakshineshwar and frequently used to come to Sri Ramakrishna. This must be the same. Because other Navin is Navin Sen, Keshav Chandra's elder brother. No. To their house, Sri Ramakrishna had gone. He is not known to have come to Dakshineshwar. So, Navin Yogi, Navin Babu. Because that Nilkantha sang the Yatra beautifully that day, and that was in Navin Yogi's house, and Thakur had gone to listen to that. So he was a close friend, associate, devotee, Navin Babu. Navin's mother with him. Navin's mother. How that Navin Babu's mother would come with Master Masha? No. Anyway, let us leave it here. Manimohan had brought his wife and Navin's mother with him. So, maybe some close relative. To the temple garden from Calcutta. So it is not Navin Yogi, neither Navin Sen. The ladies were with the Holy Mother. They were waiting for an opportunity to visit the Master when the men devotees would leave the room. That was the norm in those days, remember. They would not enter with men. And they have to talk certain things, difficulties of their own life, and so they would come later on. And we'll find that to wait for a long time, because Thakur is simply spending joyful moments with his boy devotees. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small coach. As he looked at the young devotees, his face beamed with joy, seeing the purity of those boys. Rakhal was not then living at Dakshineshwar with the Master. Since his return from Vrindavan, he had been living at home. Master, smiling. Rakhal is now enjoying his pension. That means he has struggled a lot. Now, for some time, he will enjoy and then he will again come. But Thakur calls it pension. It is, if you want to compare it with jobs, it can be very well called earned leave. Since his return from Vrindavan, he has been staying at home. His wife is there, but he said to me that he would not accept any work even if he were offered a salary of 1,000 rupees. You understand the connection? Wife is there, he has gone to his house, but to protect that wife, people will expect that he should work somewhere, earn and support his wife. But that he is not going to do. His father is a rich man, so the wife will be automatically supported. He may have gone to live with the wife for some time, but is not going to earn money. That he has made very clear. That is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. He would not accept any work, even if you were offered a salary of 1,000 rupees. That means beyond imagination in those days. Rakhal would lie down here. Thakur is telling about Rakhal's a little past time. Rakhal would lie down here and say to me that he didn't care even for my company. He was then passing through such an exalted state. So what do we understand here? So many things. The first thing which strikes is Thakur is not at all offended. Though Thakur is doing everything to Rakhal, Thakur is treating Rakhal as his son. And yet, what is the second point? Thakur is praising Rakhal for his exalted spiritual state. And that exalted state makes a devotee live with inner reality, not with any outside person. And that Thakur is describing. Thakur may have his mother to him. He has perhaps not yet realized that Thakur himself is God, for whose realization you are struggling. He has taken Thakur as his guru, guide, loving person, mother. But the exalted state means a higher level of consciousness where you are in communion, and that's why I use the word his own reality. You are in communion with God, who is your Atman, your own reality, and you are in that exalted state. At that point, you don't want any company, because that becomes a digression. That very company, the spiritual life, that very company might have been, has been the reason of your going to that exalted state. But once you have gone to that state, company becomes a digression and you don't want it. Spiritual life, mind you, it is not a worldly social obligation. That very holy person's company has helped you to attain spiritual height. And yet, when you are on that height, you do not want the company of that very holy person, and the holy person is such that he is not offended at all. This is not a social bonding. So much clarity has been made in this small sentence that social bonding is different than spiritual guidance, company. Shankaracharya has a line about it. Satsangatve nisangatvam. By association with a holy man, you have become free from attachment. Nisangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Jivan-Mukti. That unattachment will make you free from delusion, and that freedom from delusion will get you liberation. Bhavanath is married, but he spent the whole night in spiritual conversation with his wife. See, Bhavanath was loved by Thakur, and Thakur used to say is one of the Ishwar Kotis. And when we find him married, we think, oh, what has happened? But he has been married, and yet he spent the whole night with the conversation with his wife. The couple passed their time talking of God alone. I said to him, Thakur is like testing him, have a little fun with your wife now and then. What? He retorted angrily. Shall we too indulge in frivolity? So he is very clear that though he is married, the aim of life of both of them is God realization, and they are married together. They have to go to God, and so no other relation is being shown. Sri Ramakrishna began to talk about Narendra, his favorite subject. Master, to the devotees, I haven't felt the same thing, same strong longing for the younger Naren that I felt for Narendra. Here it conveys that he did feel yearning for the younger Naren, but not as strong as elder Naren. To Haripada. Haripada is also a devotee whose house is near Girish Chandra. To Haripada, do you go to Girish Chandra Ghosh? Girish Ghosh's house? Haripada, yes, I go there very often. He is our neighbor. Master, does Narendra too go there? I have seen in the last conversation this thing, but Thakur is now checking with Haripada. Haripada, yes, I see him there occasionally. Master, what does he say in reply to Girish? So, the reason for asking Narendra goes there is very different. Girish was a believer in Thakur being an avatar. And whether Narendra has come to understand that, that is Thakur's question. What does he say in reply to Girish? Girish Ghosh spoke of Shira, or in bracket, Master Maharaj's reflection. Girish Ghosh spoke of Sri Ramakrishna as an incarnation of God. Haripada, Narendra has been defeated in the argument. That is his impression. Master, no. So Thakur knows the inner thing. He says, no, he has not been defeated. He is never defeated. But Narendra says, Girish Ghosh has such strong faith. Why should I contradict him? So faith and logic are two different paths. So you cannot use logic to disturb his faith because faith is his path. And so Naren himself might not have understood the incarnation of hood of Thakur by that time, but he will not argue or counter-argue against Girish for that purpose. The brother of Judge Anukul Mukhopadhyay's son in a very tedious long relation. The brother of Judge Anukul Mukhopadhyay's son-in-law was in the room. The master asked him, do you know Narendra? Brother, yes sir, he is very intelligent young man. Master to the devotees, he must be a good man because he speaks highly of Narendra. This might have two meanings. Thakur loves Narendra, so anybody speaks good of Narendra is a good man. The other thing is, Narendra's goodness is not recognized by everybody. Many people get baffled and they think he's arrogant and this and that. But if he has spoken good of Narendra, understood him to some extent, then there is spiritual merit in him. So that may be the meaning. Narendra was here the other day and sang with Trailoka Sanyal, but that day his singing came flat to me. That is because his mind is occupied about securing some job to serve his mother and brothers. They are hungry. Baburam was a student in the entrance class. What is this entrance class? We understand. Matric class. In Calcutta or Bengal in those days, schools were supposed to be collegiate schools. That means you are studying in the school so that you will be able to go to college. And so matric examination was called entrance examination. If you pass that, you are getting an entry into the college. And that class, that 10th or matric or whatever it may be, is called the entrance class. Because this word will be new to those who do not understand. Even Bengalis, those do not understand the situation in those days. School where M taught. So M is coming now, huh? Mohini Mohan knows M, huh? You understood now by now? Master to Baburam, where are your books? Aren't you attending to your studies? To M, he wants to stick to both. That is very difficult. What will you gain by knowing God partially? Vasishtha Dev, great sage that he was overcome at the death of his son. That amazed Lakshmana. And he asked Rama the reason. Rama said, brother, what is there to wonder at? He who has knowledge has ignorance also. brother, go beyond both knowledge and ignorance. So that is what Thakur is telling, that what people call knowledge is actually half knowledge. If a thorn enters the sole of your foot, you get another thorn to take out the first one. Afterwards, you throw both away. Likewise, one procures the thorn of knowledge to remove the thorn of ignorance. Then one goes beyond both knowledge and ignorance. That is what Thakur wants Baburam to do. Baburam smiling. That's what I want. Master smiling. But my child, can you attain it by holding to both? If you want that, then come away. Leave the school and come away. Baburam smiling. Take me away from the world. His smiling means he knows Thakur's power and he wants Thakur to do those things for him which he, by his own effort, is finding difficult. Master to him, Rakha lived with me, but that was different. His father agreed to it. If these boys stay here, there will be trouble. Their parents may not agree. But about Baburam, Thakur asked his mother one day straight, give me your son. And she agreed on one condition, that I should not see the death of any of my sons. To Baburam, you have no strength of mind, you haven't much courage. Just see how the younger Naren says, I will come away for good. Sri Ramakrishna came down from the small coach and sat among the youngsters on the floor because of love for them, because non-superiority complex about them. M sat by his side. So now, first time, M is showing himself there. Indirectly it was there. Thakur told M was there. So, Mohini Mohan understood is M. Because M is not mentioned there separately. Master to M, I have been seeking one who has, why you want somebody who has totally renounced woman and gold. When I find a young man, I think that perhaps he will live with me, but everyone raises some objection or other. And Thakur is telling a funny story about it. A ghost sought a companion. Those who die accidentally or some such thing become a ghost. So a ghost sought a companion. It is said that a man who dies on a Saturday or Tuesday becomes a ghost. So another idea. Therefore, whenever the ghost saw anybody fall from a roof or stumble and faint on the road on either of those days, he would run to him, hoping that the man through an accidental death would become a ghost. That is true. And be his companion. But such was his ill luck that everyone revived. They did not die at all there. The poor thing could not get a companion. Just see, now he's telling about people. Probably. Rakhal always gives his wife as an excuse. Who will look after that if I stay with you? Though he has stayed previously. But after coming back from Dawan, as Thakur said, he is in pension. So that is his argument at that time. Question is, Thakur wants company. Rakhal always gives his wife as an excuse. He says, what will become of her? When I touched Narendra, Narendra he had full hopes. But when he touched him on the chest, he became unconscious. Then he cried out, oh, what have you done to me? Don't you know that I have a father and mother? Why has God made me lead this kind of life? Chaitanya Dev became a sannyasi so that all would salute him. Why? Why? Whoever salutes an incarnation even once obtains liberation. For that Chaitanya became a sannyasi. And he avoided company. He did not have a companion. That is the link between these two words. Mohini. Now again M has become Mohini Mohan. Mohini Mohan had brought a basket of sweetmeats for Sri Ramakrishna. So this is a poor attempt at hiding. Huh? Master, who has brought these sweets? Baburam pointed to Mohini Mohan. Sri Ramakrishna touched the sweets, uttering the word Om, and ate a little. So, if there has been any impurity, that pronouncing Om would purify it. Then he distributed them among the devotees. To the surprise of the others, he fed the younger Naren and a few of the boys with his own hand. Surprise for others. Your hand becomes uchishta, but they are all pure boys. And so, surprise for others. But Thakur's love for that purity of those boys is such that he fed them by his own hands, lovingly. Master to him. And Master has an habit of explaining most of the things which people don't understand. This has a meaning. There is a greater manifestation of God in men of pure heart. In former years, when I used to go to Kamarpukur, I would feed some of the young boys with my own hand. Chine Shankari would say, we know Srinivas, the Bengal man, was the first to recognize Thakur as an incarnation and even worshipped him. But he seems to have been a married man, householder. Chinna Shankari would say, why doesn't he feed us that way? But how could I? They led an immoral life. Who would feed them? Now this is little creating a conflict. Let us see what is the Bengali. Oh, so it is not about Chine Shankari in particular, householders in general. And in Bengali, it has been said in Thakur's direct bad language. In English, that has been camouflaged a little, but immoral life. That should give us a hint about those things. Leave it. Thakur says, somebody has an illicit relation with his niece, and somebody has illicit relation with some other girl. Why should I feed them? Okay. This must not be about Chine Shankari, but people of that sort. And Chine Shankari is in their company, so Thakur would feed young boys, but not the householders. Sri Ramakrishna was in the happiest mood with his young and pure soul devotees. He was seated on the small coach and was doing funny imitations of a kirtani, the female singer who sings kirtans, storytelling through music. Funny imitations. The devotees laughed heartily. First time we are finding something which Master Mash has described of Thakur's humor. The Kirtani is dressed lavishly and covered with ornaments. She sings, standing on the floor, a colored kerchief in her hand. Now and then she coughs to draw people's attention and blows her nose, raising her nose ring. So Thakur is observant and he knows all that tricks. When a respectable gentleman enters the room, she welcomes him with appropriate words, still continuing her song. In between, she will utter some words and then continue singing. Now and then, she pulls her sari from her arms to show off her jewels. The devotees were convulsed with laughter at this mimicry by Sri Ramakrishna. Paltu rolled on the ground. Pointing to him, the master said to him, "Look at that child, he is rolling with laughter." He said to Paltu with a smile, "Don't report this to your father, or he will lose the little respect he has for me. You see, he is an Englishman. That means an educated man, gentleman. He wants social behavior. He does not want frivolity." But Thakur with the young boys are given completely that he has some respect. That will do good to him. Thakur does not covet respect, but that it will do good to that man. And if by some wrong understanding he loses that respect, then it will harm him. And he could not understand Thakur's mood of joking with the boys. Thakur has Ananda Sarup, so he has joy in everything. With boys, he has become their age and his mimicry. Master to the devotees. There are people who indulge in all kinds of gossip at the time of their daily devotion. So, this has a meaning connection is that your parents will think of me like them. That is shows spirituality, but he enjoys this type of humor also, which is not true. At the time of taking God's name, Thakur is fully gone into God. So let us see what Thakur says about those people. Master to the devotees, there are people who indulge in all kinds of gossip at the time of their daily devotions. As you know, one is not permitted to talk then. So they will make all kinds of signs, keeping their lips closed. In order to say, bring this, bring that, they made sounds like ooh, ooh, all such things they do. Laughter. People are enjoying that joke also. Again, there are some who bargain for fish while telling their beads. As they count the rosary with a finger, they point out the fish, indicating that one, please. They reserve all their business for that time. Laughter. So that is the problem. They want to show or feel that they are devotees. That is the meaning. At that time, they bring all worldly thoughts. While doing spiritual practice, one's mind should think only of God. There are women who come to the Ganges for their bath. That is a great religious function to the Ganges bath. And instead of thinking of God, gossip about no end of things. Thakur has heard all that. What jewels did you offer at the time of your son's marriage? Has so and so returned from his father-in-law's house? So and so is seriously ill. So and so went to see the bride. We hope that they will offer a magnificent dowry. Went to see the bride means that was the custom. The father, parents of the bride are seeking alimony. And so they invite some people, please come. They come to see the bride, talk with her, and feel through that whether they want to marry. That is the meaning. So and so went to see the bride. We hope that they will offer a magnificent dowry and that there will be a great feast. Harish always nags at me. This is not Thakur's Harish, huh? Somebody's friend, son, husband, brother, somebody. A male relative. May not be husband, huh? They do not take the name of the husband at all. Harish always nags at me. He can't stay away from me even an hour. Might be her son. My child, I couldn't come to see you all these days. I was so busy with the betrothal of so and so's daughter. So all these sorts of talk Thakur has heard and is reproducing. You see, they have come to bathe in the holy river and yet they indulge in all sorts of worldly talk. The master began to look intently at the younger Naren and went into samadhi. So you understand? He loved younger Naren very much, not as much as elder Naren. That's all. Did he see God himself in the pure soul devotee? Because seeing him, he has gone into samadhi. The devotee silently watched the figure of Sri Ramakrishna. Motionless in samadhi, a few minutes before there had been so much laughter in the room. Now there was deep silence as if no one were there. So Thakur's joy is of two kinds. In the world, innocent humor, or Indran, he finds joy only in God. And quickly he passes from this joy to that joy. We cannot do that. We become digress when we indulge in this joy. A few minutes before there had been so much laughter in the room. Now there was deep silence as if no one were there. Thakur is in samadhi. Nobody is talking because they are intently looking at him. The master sat with folded hands as in his photograph, so much still. After a short while, his mind began to come down to the relative plane. He heaved a long sigh and became aware of the outer world. He looked at the devotee. This sigh or a long breath out is the sign that the vayu was held inside due to the absolute concentration that is being released now. And become aware of the outer world. He looked at the devotees and began to talk with them of their spiritual progress. Master, to the younger Naren, I have been eager to see you. So, not as much as bigger Naren, but eager to see you. You will succeed. Come here once in a while, that is necessary. Well, which do you prefer, Jnana or Bhakti? The younger Naren replied, pure Bhakti. This is seeing Thakur, Master. But how can you love someone unless you know him? Pointing to M with a smile. How can you love him unless you know him? Example, since a pure soul person has asked for pure bhakti, it must have some meaning. So Thakur is telling him that we should have knowledge also. But Thakur, it strikes Thakur that a pure soul boy has asked, so there is some deeper meaning. One does not seek bhakti of one's own accord without inborn tendency. That is the meaning. This is the characteristics of prema bhakti. There is another kind of bhakti called jnana bhakti, which is love of God based on reasoning. Love of God based on reasoning. So bhakti types. To the younger Naren, let me look at your body, take off your shirt. So by looking at the features, physiognomically, Thakur could understand the character fully. He wants to check up whether he is fit for pure bhakti. Fairly broad chest, you will succeed. Come here now and then. That is repeated second time. Sri Ramakrishna was still in the ecstatic mood. He spoke tenderly to the other devotees about their future. So younger Naren, now other devotees. Master to Paltu. You will succeed too, but it will take a little time. That means little more time. To Baburam. Why don't I attract you to me? It is just to avoid trouble for parents. Otherwise, I want you. You are fit for that. To Mahimacharan. To Mohini Moh, that is Master Masha. As for you, you are all right. There is a little yet to be done, so you have to do some more sadhana. When that is achieved, nothing will remain, neither duty nor work nor the world itself. It is good to get rid of everything that you will do in future. As Sri Ramakrishna spoke these words, he looked at Mohini affectionately. Mohini, first half of the word, as if scanning his inmost feelings. Was Mohini really wondering whether it would be wise to renounce all for God? That would come now and then in his mind. After a while, Sri Ramakrishna said, God binds the Bhagavata Pandit to the world with one tie. Otherwise, who would remain to explain the sacred book? So, I do not want you to become a sannyasi. Some tie I should use so that you will write about gospel, the modern Bhagavata as it is called. He keeps the Pandit, God, bound for the good of men. That is why the Divine Mother has kept you in the world. Master Masha. Clear? Now, Sri Ramakrishna spoke to the young Brahmin. Master, give up knowledge and reasoning. Accept bhakti. Bhakti alone is the essence. Is this the third day of your stay here? So, to younger Naren, he said knowledge also is necessary. And to each man according to his need, according to his constitution. So, to this man, he is telling that what will you do by knowledge? You should have bhakti. Brahmin with folded hands. Yes, sir. Master, have faith. depend on God. Then you will not have to do anything yourself. Mother Kali will do everything for you. So, self-effort or full surrender. Jnana goes as far as the outer court, but bhakti can enter the inner court. Here the jnana is accepted as masculine, bhakti as feminine. The pure self is unattached. Both vidya and avidya are innate, but it is unattached. Sometimes innate means all the play of Maya is going on within the reality. He is all pervading, there is nothing outside. Sometimes there is a good and sometimes a bad smell in the air, but the air itself is unaffected. That smell goes away, air is unaffected. That is a good example. Once, Vyasadeva was about to cross the Yamuna. The gopis also were there. They wanted to go to the other side of the river as well, to sell curd, milk, and cream. But there was no ferry at that time. They were all worried about how to cross the river when Vyasa said to them, I am very hungry. The milkmaids fed him with milk and cream. He finished almost all their food. Then Vyasa said to the river, O Yamuna, if I have not eaten anything, then your waters will part and we shall walk through. It so happened. The river parted and a pathway was formed between the waters. Following that path, the gopis and Vyasa crossed the river. Vyasa had said, if I have not eaten anything, that means the real man is pure Atman. Atman is unattached and beyond Prakriti. It has neither hunger nor thirst. It knows neither birth nor death. It does not age, nor does it die. It is immutable as Mount Sumer, legendary mount which does not move. So he is like that. He who has, Thakur is continuing, he who has attained this knowledge of Brahman is a Jivan-Mukta. Liberated while living in the body. He rightly understands that the Atman and the body are two separate things. After realizing God, one does not identify Atman with the body. These two are separate, like the kernel and the shell of the coconut when its milk dries up. Milk dries up is like the full knowledge. The Atman moves, as it were, within the body, separated from the body. When the milk of worldly mindedness has dried up, one gets self-knowledge. Then one feels that Atman and body are two separate things. The kernel of a green almond or betel nut cannot be separated from the shell, but when they are ripe, the juice dries up and the kernel separates from the shell. After the attainment of the knowledge of Brahman, the milk of worldly mindedness dries up. So all examples similar. Okay. But it is extremely difficult to attain the knowledge of Brahman. One doesn't get it by merely talking about it. Some people feign it as if they have got it. Smiling. There was a man who was a great liar. But on the other hand, he used to say he had the knowledge of Brahman. When someone took him to task for telling lies, he said, "Why, this world is truly like a dream. If everything is unreal, then can truth itself be real? Truth is as unreal as falsehood." So, perverted logic it is called. Allah, people understand that paradox. Sri Ramakrishna sat with the devotees on the mat on the floor. He was smiling. He said to the devotees, "Please stroke my feet gently," because they are all loving him and they would tremendously benefit spirituality by serving him. They carried out his request. He said to him, "There is great significance in this." Placing his hand on his heart, the master said, "If there is anything here, then through the service, the ignorance and illusion of the devotees will be completely destroyed." That is the meaning for which he is asking the boys to rub his feet. Suddenly, Sri Ramakrishna became serious, as if about to reveal a secret, because he is talking of the deeper meanings of incarnations like Master to him. There is no outsider here. The other day, when Harish was with me, that is devotee Harish, I saw Satchidananda come out of this sheath. We'll take it up tomorrow. Very, very deep, something nice. We'll take it up tomorrow. Oh, Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibirīditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.